The 2025 do's and don'ts of fitting. Let's talk first off about the beginners, the newbies to the game. Then I'm going to get into the intermediates. Then I'm going to get to the tour player. Which silo do you fall into and what should you be asking in each section of your golfing journey? Okay, newbies, you're first up. I get it. First off, how intimidating is fitting? If you've got a good fitter, they're going to make you chill. And I don't see this enough. So that's step number one, but you need to chill as well. Now this first point applies for all three of you coming into the journey. If you're a gym rat or you do something that makes you a bit stiff and sore the day after, I don't know what it is, snowboarding, mountain biking, who knows, you're figuring it out. Don't do that activity to the point where you're going to be fatigued going into the fit. You could do with bringing your A game into this. Beginners, something you absolutely won't know, and hopefully the other two buckets do know. This is not a long drive competition. The amount of times you put a full swing kit down and people go nuts. I put that thing down and it gets ridiculous. What are you doing? We're here to fit golf clubs. It's not a long drive. Don't get caught up in the ball speed. Everyone does it from TGL through to absolute newbie. Don't worry about it. Next thing, beginner. Everyone's seen a bad golf shot. They've hit bad golf shots. If they haven't got to where they're at in golf. I hit a lot of bad golf shots, even today. It happens, it's part of the game. The game's about misses. The reason you're coming for the fitting is in order to make your misses better. That's why you're there. That's why you're using one of these bad boys, because it's gonna give you more information, more knowledge. Let's capture every single moment up to the good shot. When do you get it if you're brand new to the game? Look, if you can't make a decent strike on the golf ball and you can't even get the ball in the air, then you probably need to spend your time first off getting lessons. But if you know roughly the correct grip, now you might have some tendencies, strong, weak, I'm not worried about that. A great fitter will work around them. And I always think a great fitter will put down some form of alignment tool. I do it a lot, so it's a consistent. You're trying to have consistency, so keep an eye out for your great fitters out there. If you've got the beginner in there, they might be setting up, they probably are for the right hand, they're setting up aiming right and then coming over the top. Just gently work in some basics. Try to avoid grip changes as the fitter, but as the amateur, if you know that your grip is somewhat okay, you're getting some success because you're starting to hit it in the air. And you know what is another good telltale sign for if you're ready for a fitting? If you've clicked on this video and you found this YouTube page and you've subscribed to it, that's a great telling sign that you're ready to have a fitting because you're thinking about it. Sticking with beginners, as you go into this fitting, you don't necessarily have to get a driver. That's right, play that back again, listen to what I'm saying. You could have more benefit because you're probably going to be a little bit steep. What does that mean, Trottie? It means you come down into the golf ball, you try and help it in the air. There's going to be a few things that you do in your golf swing that I don't want to touch on right now, and I wouldn't want to touch on if you came for a fitting, but we can get more success out of it if we go for some of these bigger clubs. So this is a 7-wood, there's a 9-wood, I've got a 3-wood in that lot, there's a mini driver kicking around somewhere in the kingdom. Get one of those. Experience some success because the shafts will be shorter, so you with your steep golf swing, which I didn't want to talk about, are going to be able to get in and closer to it and hit the ball in the air and compress it a bit more. Good golf shots about how we compress the golf ball. So even with this 7-wood, if I can compress it and get the ball flight coming out like that where I squeeze it out. Now most players would expect a 7-wood. It's what I wanted back of the green. We were just testing that off screen before. But most players will want that 7-wood to go up in the air because they need it. Beginners, that could be you. But guess what? The better players can play it too because you compress it. So if you've got the shorter length golf shaft and you can compress it more, that's gone right there on the full swing. It's gone 235, 240. So that's a decent hit into breeze with a 7-wood for sure. And it's now useful. So if I can do that with that, you don't have the consistency to hit it in the right part of the face where you're going to need it. Then let's talk next, and I think my setup here is pretty good for it. I've got combo irons, I've got the 770 longs, they're a bit bigger. Now with where all the tech is going with the golf clubs, you really want to take your time on your irons and make sure you can get into something that is bigger potentially. It changes the spin rate. Again, you might be sat there going, what are you talking about? Why do I care about spin rate? But spin rate impacts everything. You don't need to understand it, but when you hit golf shots, providing you can get some consistency, then you're going to want an iron that works for your game. I don't mind you going with a T-peg either to start, because you're trying to get some confidence and juicing here. I mean, again, we've come out this morning to film, but practice-wise, if I do it right, less is more. Get the right amount of golf balls you hit, pick the shot, get your alignment down there, see the golf ball going in the air, because these larger golf clubs are going to give you that help. So you're going to see a golf ball go up in the sky, no problem. If you can get that turf interaction, that's brilliant. But if not, take 2 or 3 balls with each club until you get what you want, and take your time. That's a big do's for the beginners out there. Take your time, step off the shot, try and build a pre-shot routine, because it's going to help you. You want to be getting your fitting as you're asking the questions fine in the video, but you're also seeing the golf ball go in the air. If you're seeing a consistent pattern, which beginners will often see, if you're falling back and you're seeing the ball move, that one was a little bit left to right, but you're starting for a right-handed golfer to lose the ball out to the right like that because you're trying to help it in the air, guess what? You probably need a fitting, because those clubs can be adjusted to give you more of a driving forward ball flight, and the correct ball flight that is helping you trap it and get that divot coming out and the ball driving forward. That is where you're going to have to start thinking about the fit. Make sure that fitter is asking you what ball you play, and try not to, well, actually it's a good answer. If the answer is I play the cheapest ball I can find because I lose them, answer with that. Be honest. It's another great part for the beginners. Be honest. He gives you a golf shaft, or she, they think it's the right one for you. You don't like it. You are the CEO of your own golf game. You tell them, not today, champ. I don't like that. I want something different. You never ever rush the process. But if you're with an elite fitter, at this point, your job is maybe to hands off and give them the chance to work you through that. I've fit a couple of guys in the last few years, amateurs. One's pretty close to me here. I won't talk about it, but you don't listen to me and we end up doing the whole damn thing again. So if you're with an elite fitter, they're an elite fitter who worked on the tour for 20 years for a reason. I'm just saying. We'll move on to intermediates. All right, intermediates. We love you. You're not bad at golf. You could be better. You could be better. You could be doing things more disciplined. You should be better. You annoy me. You're the low-lying fruit that should be improving at golf, but you don't want to aspire to it. You don't want to reach to it, and it does annoy me, to be honest. Are you not improving? Because I know why you're not improving, and I can do it all with golf clubs and a launch monitor and a decent range, grass preferably, and a golf ball that you should be playing, and you shouldn't be jumping all over the place. A fitting for you starts with a golf ball. It's non-negotiable, and we talk about how we fit you from 150 yards and down, not 150 yards and up. Get out of the long drive. No one cares. If you hit more fairways and you spin it correctly, you're going to be a better player because you're going to have better angles to the greens. You know that because you kept your data. That's right, you haven't kept your data because you're happy being in this bracket. You're happy being average. I can't stand it. It really, really annoys me. Don't just go and buy 790s because they're easy to hit. Consider a combo set. 790s will give you the flight. 770s will give you the control in the shorts. Why can't you combo set? Why do you want 790? Why? Why do you want to keep making it easier when you can make it more aspiring? Because you should be moving to shot shaping. You should be looking at a ball flight where, okay, I want to cut this one. How do I do it? Well, you get steep on it like that and you move the ball from left to right because you know what it takes for you to cut it. You should be doing that. Now look, I can give myself a hard time because I've fallen from the elite category into the elite amateur category. It's not good enough. I shouldn't be dropping, but time, commitments, YouTube channels, it is what it is. But honestly, this section for you is easy. The golf clubs need to be viewed as a squad. You need to understand that you've got to leave the ego at the door. That's something I struggled with for a long time. You don't need to be playing bladed 3-irons just because you think they're cool and you like Seve Ballesteros or Greg Norman back in the day. It don't matter. Those boys aren't really playing anymore, to be fair. One of them, bless his soul, isn't with us and the other one's running the Live Tour. It is what it is. You don't need a 3-bat. What you need is you need to get into the lofted fairway woods. I've done it myself. Ego at the door with the 7-wood. The thing is an absolute cheat stick. It's phenomenal. No 3-iron anymore for me. Embrace a higher apex. Use a launch monitor. I get it. You might not have been brought up on launch monitors, but if you understand For example, that golf shot there with the cut, 3.3 left on the path, with the face open to the path, understand it. You're good enough now just to watch the odd video here and there or read the odd article. This can really help you. A full swing kit and a launch monitor can give you yardages. Knowing your distances will help you improve. This is about learning more about your game, learning what launch should be off the driver, spin should be off the driver, learning how far the wedges go, having gapping with your wedges. I've got it in my golf bag here. I know that a 9 o'clock swing, we'll cover it in a different video, but a 9 o'clock backswing will give me a certain yardage. I got 3 wedges plus the pitching wedge, that's 4. That's what you should be looking at. It doesn't really take any effort. You can do it all in a fitting environment. A good fitter will work you through the yardages and spend time with you once they get you dialed. But the point is you can find shafts that work for you. You don't need to go, as I call it, Pandora's box here, all over the wall. Lock in on what you need, limit your ball count, understand you can get better. You're good enough for 770 shaping in the shorts. You want 790s in the long if you're just getting into this section. You're good enough for CBs if you're really starting to score well. Height is important. I really think playing in America, if you can get the height on the golf ball, it really helps you. No, if you play in Europe, you will need to embrace the long irons. If you play a really tough golf course with long rough, embrace the fairway woods, the 7s and the 9 woods. And you know what? You should know enough about your game to know where you struggle around the greens, and embrace like a 7 wood maybe for chipping if you need to on dormant grass. Certainly in California, that's a thing. And this might all be stuff that you haven't heard of. But if golf trips are starting to be in your future, you may be planning a trip to Europe, or you're planning doing more, you want to start thinking about a squad of golf clubs and get some consistency on the grips that you use. It's not cool having a Lampkin in one, a flipping Golf Pride in another, a mid-size in one, a flipping MCC +4 in the other. We know Q does all that. Does he use, and we'll maybe put that on there, a Golf Pride MCC +4 mid-size, or does he use the KBS REL Lampkin standard? You tell me. We're guessing, aren't we? It's easy. Put the right grip on the golf club and start to embrace swing weights. Swing weights are balance points. They're massive, they're overlooked. Just try and understand more about your golf game because you want to be better. So intermediates, how often should you be getting fit? Well, you got to ask yourself, do you like the sparkle of that brand new QI35 that's on the shelf? If you do, get fit. Do you need a new set of irons, or do you just want a new set? Your data's going to tell you that, isn't it? So if your data's saying from clipped you got to get a new set of irons, go and get fit for the things. Well, I just had a fit for the previous set, shouldn't I just match them? No, of course you shouldn't. Because you know what? I'm getting a lot of fun and enjoyment out of this Tour V golf shaft now. It's a little lighter than what I played before. My clip data says it's fantastic. I don't need to change out of it as a result of that. My long irons are performing. My clip data shows that. Data should drive everything, but I didn't fully know the Tour V existed until I went down that route of doing that fitting to learn that that was the way to go. So on the same road, I think every time you change a golf club, you should get a fitting. Wedges, you should be changing quite often, which then leads me to say to you, every time you change your wedges, which should be, I think, in a season, if you can get a fresh set every season, wear them through. I think you then check your loft and lies at the start of the season, which can be part of your fitting, which, because you're an intermediate, you understand about loft and lie angles. If you check them at the start, I think you should check them in the middle of the season, and you should check them before you go into winter. But if you go and do winter on mats and you hit through the winter, definitely start to look at those lie angles as you come into the summer. But your data that you're capturing will show you trends, especially if it's clipped. It'll even highlight things as red when they're going the wrong way, and you can start to think, is it me or is it the golf clubs? So I think anytime you look at a new golf club, get fit for it. Always let the fitter tell you what they're thinking, but now you're forming more of an opinion of what you want. Again, if you really trust the fitter, I'd probably let them make those decisions for you. But remember, you have a say in this. You can hit a golf ball, you can hit it roughly where you want. I just want you to be better. And that's what you should get from this fitting. It's not just about testing everything. You can learn something, especially if the fitter is top-notch quality. All right, Tour boys. I've spent most of my career working with you guys. You're an interesting crowd. You are absolute ballers. I have absolute respect for you. But sometimes you can be really freaking stubborn. And look, I love it, and that's why I was a great fitter on the tour, because data now rules the decisions, but so does emotion. You know how to hit a golf ball. You know how to hit a golf ball better than me. I'm not going to say that, but I know how to make a golf club better than you. And I know when new tech comes out from the powerhouses like TaylorMade, there's a lot in there that can help you. It can help you improve. I know that each generation and each model is made to give you that incremental strokes gain difference, player shot quality difference that will make you improve. Get a club that works alongside your gamer. So if you've got a gamer that you love, you're now going to know the swing weight of it. So that's the balance point. It's important. I'll stick it in the description. But you know what that looks like. Really, if we're getting your clubs done on a tour truck, you're changing maybe, dependent on the player, but definitely driver. It's going to, because of how much you practice, we've got to get you in some new heads. So we've got to get your backup head. Backups become important. If you're a mini tour player, you need a backup. If you're an elite amateur, you need a backup. You don't know when that thing can go. It can get broken in transit. But make sure you practice with the backup and get it right. You might carry 2 different putters with different loft for different grains. You're going to carry different wedges for different venues. You're going to have, I mean, even today, I've got 15 clubs here. That's a pretty light day for me. I might sometimes, and actually I haven't, I've got 16 clubs here. It's still a pretty light day. I like to practice a lot, different shots. Tour players, you're doing the same. You need to travel and get on the heavyweight end of the travel bag, because you're taking clubs that are going to do different jobs for different golf courses. If you see a putter that you like, try it out over a period of time. I know Tiger Woods has got many different greens that he practices on before he looks to make a change with that flat stick. He did it when he used the Ardmore for TaylorMade. It was really about noticing that one of them performed differently on a better grass, on a certain type of grass, than what his blade did, and he put it in because his schedule permitted. Tour players, is your schedule going to send you on a route where you're going to play links golf, so you need a sand iron or a lob wedge that has a larger sole to help you out the traps? I know I did that with tons of European Tour players and PGA Tour players that would go and try and qualify for the Open Championship. They would need different soles. Justin Rose was one of them. Used a big fat sole for the deep, deep bunkers of links golf. That's how these players are thinking. They're thinking ahead, but they're also embracing new tech. Dustin Johnson, one of the first to embrace the new tech. Now you see it with Tommy Fleetwood, and it comes to fairway woods, lofted fairway woods. Those boys lead the way in that. They used to be 2 irons and 3 irons. Now they're using the 7 woods and the 9 woods to benefit their game. So they're embracing the new technology. But great players only change when they really, really need to. Because if you've got a club that you've hit a shot under the gun to win a tournament with, I get it. It's hard to come out of that thing. We've seen it through the generations. Guys have had clubs that have given them success. They don't want to change. I get it. But you can't just become closed off. And you'll know, because around you, momentum will build from players. Some hot club will come out all of a sudden, like the Spider. It takes off and it gives you better putting results. We've seen it with Scotty Scheffler. We've seen it with Nelly Korda. We've seen it with Jason Day. We've seen it with Rory. We've seen it with Dustin Johnson. Should I keep going? The mallet high MOI putter absolutely makes an impact on statistics. We've seen it. So don't sleep on it just because you like the look of a little blade and you think it works for you. No, mate. We can help you out with some technology in your life. So be aware for it. Get the stats. Have a fitter that perseveres. They don't just leave you on the West Coast swing and never see you again until the PGA Championship. Build a relationship with your club builder and your club fitter and make sure it's bang on the money and keep on top of it. You should be checking it every time you go home. You should be loft and lying. If something feels off, you will know. Your data will show it. And if your tournament schedule goes from the Middle East to Australia to Asia to America to Europe, you're going to need different golf clubs for different grass types and different sections of the world. I get it, there's a lot of information there. There's 3 silos of players, but the bottom line is I want to help you all. I've spent the majority of my career helping tour players, having those difficult conversations when they're under the pump or they're performing well, seeing them change to win more tournaments, to pay any bills they've got, and ultimately to achieve their lifelong goals. But it doesn't just stop there. It's the same for the club player, the amateur. We know you can do more. I want to help you. Just get in the comments, ask the questions. These are the overview of the do's that you should look for and the don'ts for 2025. And look, newbies, we love you. Welcome to the game. The game is growing, it's changing. We're seeing it all the time. I get it. A lot of these words that are out there of different shafts, different torques, different grips, different swing weights. What are you talking about? I have absolutely no idea. You know what? That's why they make a subscribe button, and that's why they make a comment section. If you get on both of them, I'm going to be more inclined to help you out in the comments and to make more videos so that you can learn as we go on this journey together.